Hello and welcome to another Minecraft video. I am the Redstone Mechanic. You can call me Red, and today we have a special suggested video from Matthew Velez, and he asked for a secret passageway that goes through a set of stairs, and that's exactly what I have here. But he also added one more qualification to this, and that is to have a secret, hidden input. And so I chose to use a button. And basically how this is going to work is I press the button and the stairway opens up, and we can pretty much do whatever we want with it. We can go down, we can go through to a secret room. It's really up to you. And the input device is also really up to you. So this is how mine is set up. I click the button that is on the wall, and the doorway opens up. So you can pretty much hide the input however you want. I just chose sort of like a in plain sight kind of a thing. And I have it hooked up to two flip-flops, so I can press the button again and the door will open. But enough ranting and raving, let's go take a look at the tutorial. Alright, now we are inside of the tutorials world, and I am flying to the spot where we will build this in a more scientific way, so that way you can see the guts of the machine. As always, this map is available for download in the comments below. And before we begin, I just wanted to say that these are the materials I will be using. We have a white wool block, is where all the redstone important blocks will go. A redstone torch, button, sandstone stairs, they can be any kind of stairs, sticky piston, redstone, and repeaters. Alright, so this is the very first example I have of it, and this is basically how it works. Is when I flick this switch, input from this lever will cease to this top layer of redstone and this bottom layer. This bottom layer controls the bottom two pistons here, and the top piece powers all four of these pistons right here. And here's how it's built using the T flip-flop method, so that way you have your input. I find this more useful for different kinds of inputs like pressure plates, but a lever will also work. I'm going to be showing how to build it with both ways over here on our panel. So this panel, I believe, is 4 by 12. And I'm going to start by placing my very first wool block right here. And we're going to start off by building the bottom portion of our power. So this is going to affect the bottom two pistons. And I find it's nice to start with the bottom first so I can get sort of like a estimate of how large my space is going to be. And here is where the pistons will be on top of these two blocks. So I'm going to place them. And they're going to be facing towards this way, towards the road. And to power them, I will attach my redstone like this. Now you may notice a problem is where the redstone isn't pointing at the piston or the block that's under the piston. And to change that, we simply add one more block here. And it cuts off this piece of redstone from connecting to this piece. So do that on both sides, and then if we were to power it, like such, it would affect the pistons. Alright, now that we have the bottom in place, let's add our stairs. Just like that. And our top stairs are going to be here. So we're going to build 2 blocks off of these stairs, actually 3. And right here is where our piston is going to be. Oh, excuse me, right here is where it's going to be. Okay, so this is the non-powered version of the pistons. This is as far back as they will be. And now that we know as far back as they'll be, we need to attach the pistons that are going to bring them back. So we need to have a piston right here where this block is, and 2 more up here, because we need the pistons to attract this stair, this piston, this stair, and this piston. So that's going to be 4 sticky pistons on this side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So when these are powered, it's going to affect this right side. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to build 3 blocks off and attach our pistons. Whoop. Alright, so now that our pistons are in place, now we need to add the wiring. And the way I did this wiring was I had 2 pieces of redstone down here on either side, just like this. And I also had a block up here being powered by the redstone repeater. And the way this works is when the repeater is powered, it powers this block, which also goes down and powers the 2 redstone blocks down here, which in turn powers all of the pistons. If I were to remove this block, the power would cease to the bottom. So these arms need delay anyway. I just found a way of sort of trying to compact it and add the delay in. Now we're going to need to be able to power these pistons and the top 2 pistons. So what I do for this is I add a whole bar like of this wool block on top. So it should look like this now. And I add redstone on the top. Just like that. So when one of it's powered, it powers all the pistons on the right, pistons on the left, and the two ones on the top. And now we have to integrate it with the bottom layer of redstone to power the bottom. But before we do that, make sure that the repeaters are set to the maximum delay. So it should look like this. Okay, now once we're here, we're going to add the integration between the top and the bottom pieces of redstone. And to do that, I'm going to have the bar extend a little bit out like this, and then I'm going to run the cabling up. So it should come out like this. Okay, so now both of our inputs are synced. Depending on how you want to build this, you could probably wire it differently, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'll be doing it this way. And I'm going to be using a lever at first, but I will change it to a button. So if you want a lever, it's going to look something like this, where I have both blocks getting powered by the same lever. And if you have the delays right, it should work. Now, some common mistakes are if you might have this one on 3 and that one on a 4, you could get effect like this where it gets pulled apart wrong. Make sure that your delays are both on 4. Also, make sure that the blocks that I mentioned up here, these two blocks could also affect the performance and cause just failure. So make sure those are in place. Those are some mistakes that I made accidentally by building it too fast. So you might want to look out for those. Okay, now for a button, we're going to change our input to a T flip-flop. And the way the T flip-flop works is it goes something like this. It'll change the input of a button to something more of like a lever. And this is exactly how to build one. So we're going to have a block in the middle and 2 pistons on either side with a redstone torch underneath, and then the power coming out like this. So when everything is said and done, when you click the button that's attached to the top here, you'll get sort of like a lever effect. So it basically toggles the power. And so we're going to apply that to this. And to do that, we're going to pick a spot where we want the button to be. I'll probably extend out a little bit. And let's put the button here. And so that means that we need redstone here, torches on either side. Let's get rid of that. And we're going to need to add the pistons as well on either side. One here, add the block that's going to get powered. So now it should look like this. Make sure that there's wiring on the top. Your input's attached to it or connected to it via repeater. And now we're going to add the block below the white wool block that powers it. So this torch is powering this block. And so right now we are receiving power. Let's connect it to the bottom. So right now power is on. And we can also do the same. We can connect this up here down to the toggle. Now if I went too fast for you, you can download this map. I have links to it in the description. And you guys can walk around and check it out there. Make sure that there's a repeater here or somewhere to make sure the signal is long enough to reach the final repeater. As you can see, this one is pretty much almost dead. The power of the signal isn't very strong, but it's very powerful over here. And let's test it out. And everything works fine. Thanks for watching my tutorial, guys. Thanks to Matthew Velez for suggesting this tutorial, and I will see you guys next time.